Hey guys, welcome back to my channel if you're new here. Thanks for tuning in. So today I have the new Huda Gold palette that I want to share with you guys. I'm going to be doing swatches for you and a quick eye demo as well as my thoughts on the palette. This is a Cult Beauty exclusive palette. They do ship to the United States and really to a lot of different countries all over the world. It retails for 27 pounds, which is about 35 to 36 US dollars. Typically these are about 29 US dollars, so it is a little bit more expensive because you have that exchange rate. Cult Beauty is a UK based makeup retailer. I'm not really sure why Huda decided to do it just with Cult Beauty. I don't even think she doesn't even have it on her website, which is kind of strange to me. Maybe she'll get it on there at some point because this is a really beautiful gold palette and I'm excited to try it on my eyes today for you guys. These 9-pan palettes are some of the best ones that Huda does in my opinion. I think they're really nice, easy, simplified, and not overwhelming palettes. Like, I think that it's a really great concept. And the gold packaging on this, ooh, that is stunning. We're gonna get into the swatches right now so that you guys can see everything, how it looks like. I did a few different ways of swatching this. I built them up so you guys can see the full pigmentation, and then I also did swatches that are basically one swipe swatches, and these swatch really well with the finger, which is really no surprise. I feel like Huda Beauty shadows always swatch really well, for the most part at least. I also did live swatches for you guys. I put an eyeshadow primer down on my entire arm, and then I did a finger swatch on one side, and then I did a brush swatch right beside it so you guys can see what it looks like with a finger versus a brush. I feel like it's no surprise that the shimmers swatch better with a finger. That's pretty much how all shimmers are in my opinion. They're always gonna swatch better with your finger, and this is no exception here with the Huda Beauty palettes. You can build them up with the brush, but it definitely takes some building and you will definitely get some fallout. There are 3 matte shades in here and 6 shimmers. They're not all the exact same formula. Some of them are a lot more chunkier, some are more metallic, some are a little bit more sheer. The center shade and the gold shade in this bottom corner is really the best 2 shades in this palette in my opinion. They are truly amazing gold shades that swatch incredibly. I think that's all the basics on the palette. Let's go ahead and I'm going to zoom you guys in a little bit so we can try it on the eyes and make a really cute gold eyeshadow look. I'm eyeing a few shades in here, specifically the middle shade. It is honestly the most beautiful shade in this palette to me. I love this rich gold too, like it is a perfect gold, but this shade in the middle, mwah, that's the one that I want to use for sure. If you see any leftover lash glue, I apologize. It's not always the easiest to get out. I'm going to use my Urban Decay eyeshadow primer Potion in Eden, which is my favorite primer. I use it for all of my reviews because it works the best for me. Okay, I guess we're going to go ahead and try out all 3 of the matte shades. So I'm going to start in here with this light shade here. I do quickly want to say when it comes to the mattes in this palette, I really do feel like it's not going to be great for deep skin tones. The only one in here is probably the dark brown, but I feel like there's not a lot you can do with just one dark matte brown shade. But on the other hand, there's so many amazing shimmers in here that are going to look perfect on every skin tone. It kind of makes up for it a little bit. If you're going for this palette, you're buying it for the shimmers anyways, I feel like, so you're just gonna have to decide whether or not that's a deal breaker for you, and if you have other matte shades you can dip in to go along with this palette. This is a very light shade, and I'm very fair skinned, so it definitely looks like a light transition shade on me. That's what it looks like on my super pale skin. Let's go into the mid-tone matte shade here. It's a little bit on the pinker side. I wish it was more on the warmer side because golds are more warm, but let's see what it looks like on the eyes. I mean, on me, great transition shade. Really pretty, really nice. I do still wish it was a little bit of a different tone considering this is a gold palette, but that's just me. I mean, I think that's a personal preference. What I like to pair with my golds is more warm toned matte shades, and this shade is a little bit more on the rosier, cooler, almost cool toned side. I don't know, I feel like this shade particular was a interesting choice for them to put in here. And that shade definitely, maybe medium skin tones, maybe. Like, as like a light shade, that one. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of the matte selection in here. I think that the dark brown one is the strongest one in this palette. But again, you're mostly buying this for the shimmers anyway. So this brown swatched incredibly. It looks like it's pretty pigmented. I'm not really surprised. These dark shades are always really good in these palettes. Back into the mid-tone shade to blend a little bit here. Okay, there is all 3 of the matte shades. They blend amazing, no problem here. I mean, I never have issues with Huda matte shades blending or anything. They always work really well for me. Again, I mean, this is all you're really gonna be able to do with the matte shades, and then it's gonna look like this with a different shimmer shade on top. That's so, this is truly a gold palette. Like, this is all you're gonna get is gold and a little bit of neutral mattes. Pretty typical for some of these obsession palettes. I mean, they're themed that way for a reason, but just keep that in mind that this is basically what the matte shades are always gonna look like if you're my skin tone. Okay, let's go into that center shade there. Let's try the brush first, and then I'll use my finger. So anything about these Huda palettes is that I feel like it's always really difficult to pick up pigment with a brush for shimmer shades. But again, you just use your finger, which is what I typically end up doing. So, I mean, you can definitely get some pigment on there. Look at that. That's so pretty. You just kind of dig in there a little bit, you know? And then it gets kind of chunky. Ends up getting like kind of chunky on the brush. I feel like it's like that with a lot of her shadows. Oh, look at that. That's not so bad at all. You just gotta kind of work with it. It just takes a little bit more time trying to build it up. Whereas like if I was to just go in with my finger right now on this side, it's so fast. So much faster. Look at that freaking gold shade, is so gorgeous. But you can use a brush. So that's a good thing. Just easier with your finger. And just blend in some of the edges here. I definitely got quite a bit of fallout from trying to use the brush. That's such a stunning gold shade. Now I'm gonna go into this shade right here, and I'm gonna put it in my inner corner and kind of pull it in a little bit. This is like a rosy gold shade, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily rose gold. I mean, no, yeah, that's definitely rose gold. What am I talking about? Oh my god, it's so pretty. I kind of want to add even more of the deep dark brown and just make it like super dark on the outside here. I will say it's so easy to make looks with these because it's just not a lot. Like, you don't have to look at a ton of different shades. All right, so that's what we're looking like. Very pretty, beautiful gold shades in here. Let me go ahead and finish up some of my face makeup. Will come up. I'm gonna finish the lower lash line, and then I'll tell you my final thoughts. Okay, you guys, all the rest of my makeup is on. Let's finish up the lower lash line. I'm going to use this shade, this matte shade here, all the way from the inside to outside. This probably has some leftover of the darker shade on here on the brush too, so. And then just a tad, you need a bit of the dark shade on the outer corner here. And then I'm just gonna touch up with the rose gold shade again on my inner corner, because when I put my concealer, I definitely covered some of that up. A little more mascara. Kind of want a little liner on my waterline as well, so I'm gonna throw that on. I'm just gonna rub a little bit of this Luxe lip oil from ColourPop on. This has some on my lips. Don't mind my super messy hair, but here is the final look. I'm just gonna put this headband back on because I do not feel like doing anything with my hair today. Alrighty guys, so my final thoughts on this palette. If you're wanting a palette for specifically gold shimmer shades, this is perfect. I think it's a really good palette for the shimmers. The mattes in there, they're alright, but I do feel like they're not my favorites. They're just okay in my opinion. I mean, the dark shade's great, but the other two, eh. but I do feel like this is mostly you're buying for the shimmer shades anyways, and they are incredible. They are so good. Now, are they worth the price point though? I don't know if I can fully recommend it for the price point. It's quite expensive. $35 US for this. I don't know about that. I feel like I would be a little bit more willing if it was at the regular $27-29 price point, but $35 is a lot of money for a 9-pan shadow. Like, that's a lot. They are really good though. So it just depends on how much money you're willing to spend on a small palette like this. Formula is great, price point's not great. Ultimately, it's up to you what you want to do. I really hope that Huda Beauty brings this to Ulta or to her website or something for the normal price, because that is, you know, in pounds, conversion rates, they're not great. They're pretty expensive. That's all I have to say about it. I hope you guys found this helpful if you're looking to purchase this palette. And thank you so much for watching. If you guys found this helpful or maybe just enjoyed it in the background, I would really appreciate if you considered subscribing to my channel. I do reviews like this pretty often on my channel, as well as other really fun, in my opinion, beauty content. So I hope that you would consider subscribing to my channel if you're not already. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!